as we last left off on this wonderful campaign, night had come. Everyone had bedded down for the night. Nomad regaled the summary of this journal to Tyrrell, and this one particular name stuck out to Tyrrell and kind of gave him a shiver to his bones. And that name was Noldori Voris. And I will go ahead and say, unless the two of you would enjoy to carry on that conversation, that we could pass to the next morning.
I'd say pass to the next morning. I think we kind of covered it before we were done.
I have a clue and a clueless go. What the fuck did I miss?
Hitch.
All right, and so the way that the rooms were going was that the Misty and Ralagalor were sharing a room, that Tyrrell and Nomad were sharing a room, and Elbrig and Samson had their room.
Who's Ralagallo?
That would be the Furbolg that was dead.
Oh, our unconscious guy. Okay.
Indeed.
He was.
So we got to town. We got into an inn. In this town, people are having trouble sleeping, and the backseat person who wanted to report what again shouldn't have reported it, or to report the military.
The incidents going on at Silver Scale regarding the things
the
you guys
weird.
all had
Okay.
seen, and yeah, and the gnome had made it a point and made sure that the other members of the law hall that were scattered about couldn't hear him. Made it a point to tell her that we can't help you here. We won't help you here. Instead, you should probably take that to someone else, because we won't help you here. And then promptly sat back at the desk and disappeared underneath the desk when he sat down.
Yeah.
It is a rather large desk, occupied by a very small gnome. It's a bit off-putting. But I'm guessing everybody's business for the day was concluded, or for the evening was concluded. So, with that,
I forgot how to drink water. Oh god. Send help.
Nomad, you don't need to drink water. You're fine.
Nomad doesn't need to, but I do.
That being said, as the next morning arrives, Tyrrell, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, god damn it. And the fuckery begins.
And the fuckery does indeed begin.
You've let me go for too long.
Oh, that's actually... Oh, yeah, you're right. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh, fuck you. That was not invitation. Give me a second. It's loading.
Thanks for reminding me, buddy.
Fuck you. And fuck you specifically. You can have the whole bag of super dicks.
No, thank you. I got it at a discount.
They're deadlier in every way. What'd you say? Wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Here we go. Okay, not bad, not bad.
Now wait for this natural one.
Here we go.
Oh fuck. It's a 4.
Well. And here we go. So,
Nomad's in the fucking room with him.
as Nomad is sitting there, you watch Tyrrell kind of stir a bit as seems to be on the brink of waking up. And oddly, Nomad, you can hear something peculiar emitting from in Tyro's personal space. And he seems to be rummaging around while oh no. Oh no, I know which one that is too.
Do you?
I believe that would be gluttony.
I think it is. Let me check. No. That's sloth.
Oh no. So, anyways. Oh, this is gonna be great.
All around.
Nomad, you hear a very peculiar sound coming from Tyro's space around him. And as he's turning and tossing and fidgeting about, as he's beginning to wake up, you see him almost trance-like immediately bolt upright, and reach over into his bag and pull out this small pouch. It looks like it's a round object wrapped in what you can only describe as some kind of pelt or hide, and tied with a silver string, a silver thread. And almost as quickly as he pulls it up, you see him just rip it open. Like, again, almost in a trance. And the moment he opens this bag, a massive wave of just soul-chilling cold erupts into the room, and he reaches into the bag and pulls out a sphere, a stone sphere, and just holds it in his hand. And you can hear these strange sounds emanating from it. You can't really comprehend anything from it, but they do sound like voices. And he's just holding this stone and staring
I presume
at it.
that my sense is going off like blindingly.
Yes. And as you kind of like notice this stone and that biting cold, you get this emanating sense of protection and sealing, hiding from this stone, from this orb he's holding in his hand. And since you failed that one, Tyrell, I need you to make another wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh boy.
Oh
Let's see if we can
boy!
get more. Nope, we're good.
With disadvantage, you get a 5.
I know. I was thinking it was gonna be a 1 next.
That's for 1, he just disappears.
Wait, what?
Alright. And as he's now holding this stone, Tyrell does have these strange eyes of having heterochromia, where one is usually blue. In this sense, both of his eyes fade to pitch black. The entirety of his eyes are now just sunken, dark spheres in his head. And he is staring into this stone. And does not appear to be moving anymore.
Nomad, pretty sure that this is completely irregular and very bad, is going to stand up and, weathering the cold emanating from the stone, not daring to touch it, will grab Tyrell's shoulder and shake him and say, Tyrell,
Which shoulder?
Tyrell. Yes.
No, which shoulder?
Which shoulder?
Which hand is he holding the orb in?
That would be in his right hand.
Left shoulder.
All right. Just making sure.
That could have been some interesting time.
And as you kind of shake him and try and get him back to his senses, he doesn't move. He doesn't respond.
Oh, wait a minute, you fucker.
Tyrell,
Yes.
you are greeted once more by Mordecai.
Mm.
The empty abyss surrounding you. And again, you feel that familiar cold and the staring glares of 7 other individuals whose names you now know.
Mm.
And again, that 9th entity. This time it's a bit more focused on you,
Oh, fuck.
as this is now
Reading
the
it.
second time that you have entered into this space, whether intentionally or not. It doesn't seem to be moving towards you, but it is very aware of your presence.
Am I able to see the 9th?
What you see is an ever expanding expanse of darkness, emptiness, something
So even-
beyond black.
Okay, so even with Dark Side, I don't pick up anything on it.
The
Oh
only
no.
thing
No,
of...
no. It is not that it is hiding in the darkness. It
Oh, I
is
figured it was-
the darkness.
Oh, I'm thinking as much.
The only thing that you can actually see, the only semblance of radiance or light or comfort, is emanating from Mordecai. As she doesn't say anything, but she looks at you very solemnly. And you see she is struggling to try and, from what you can assume, help you out again.
Mhm. So I'm just gonna look at her and say, I'm assuming me being here now is not a good thing.
She kind of looks at you and, you could have picked a better time.
Okay, first I thought me being in this area was not good. Well, what do you mean by a better time? You telling me there's a good time to come here?
She kind of gives you a look and just... Has sarcasm died in the last few thousand years?
It's debatable.
Question. On the outside of this, I assume Nomad has given Tyrell a pretty hearty shake at this point, right?
Oh yeah, his horns have whacked against the wall a couple of times.
Um, The cold began when this object was removed from its covering, correct?
When the bag was opened.
Nomad, where is the covering right now?
In his hand.
Nomad would, presuming that Tyrell does not move to stop him, attempt to reclose the bag by taking the... Because I assume he's holding the whole thing in one hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
He would attempt to reclose the bag by taking the string and carefully and gingerly closing it up around the edges of the object without actually touching it.
All right. So you're gonna try and refold it into this hide, whatever this is, and then retie it
Yes.
without touching the stone.
Absolutely not. Do not want to touch that thing.
All right, make a dexterity check.
Flat dex?
Flat dex.
That's not bad.
All right. Sure as shit, you get the job done. And he resists slightly, it seems, where the left hand doesn't move, the right arm seemingly tries to resist. But you're really quick with it, despite the biting cold, which doesn't really affect you as not too much in the way of muscle and tendon and skin for it to affect, but
But I feel it in my soul.
you feel it in your soul.
Quick question.
But you do manage to close up the bag and the cold recedes.
Quick question there, Sinbad.
Okay.
You said I tried to fight him using an arm.
It
What would
moves.
that- Okay, it doesn't actually touch him, correct?
No. And
Okay.
technically, with Nomad, that wouldn't really affect him.
On a very slight technicality.
Hmm. As it is not
It won't
technically
affect
skin.
me one way. I still think it would transfer, wouldn't it?
Skin to skin.
Yeah, it's difficult to say, but in Nomad's case specifically, it's probably not going to work.
Okay.
But
I would
having
think it would-
closed it, Nomad would attempt to pick the bag up and separate it from Tyrrell.
As you go to try and pull it away, his right hand clenches down on it, almost like a death grip.
Oh boy.
Though Tyrrell, as the bag gets closed, is you're not aware of this.
Yeah, I assumed.
Mordecai seems to be breathing a bit easier. And promptly gives you a look of, okay, now that that's done. And she
What?
graces you with a, can we not keep meeting like this?
You know, I feel the same way. But at the same point, this is not my fault.
You see her eyes kind of pass over you and kind of look down.
Mm-hmm.
And there next to you, kind of like crouched, but more like just kind of slouched and hunched over, you see one of the 7 beings. This one seems to have grayish green skin and a singular horn protruding from the front of its head.
Mm.
And its eyes are very sunken and blackened, though it does have a very golden hue to the eyes.
Okay, that's what I'll turn to her and be like,
It also seems to have a gentle hold of your right arm.
I would ask her, but then that just seals it. I'd know exactly what's going on, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of out loud thing. Huh, that's how it works.
And she just kind of nods and, best you be on your way then. And you see that her wings flare out
Oh boy.
and then
Not
slowly wrap around you again. And as they
here.
close
On a magical journey.
and as they close around you and you feel the cold of the feathers, suddenly you're brought back to yourself and you are gripping the bag to the point where you're pretty sure you've felt your knuckles and your joints popping in your hand.
Mm.
You have a straight up death grip on that bag.
Well, as I'm naturally taking over my own body again, I'd slowly release. Not enough that Nomad can take it, but slowly let up on the death grip a little bit.
Well, I think the first thing Nomad would notice is that your eyes go back to normal.
Yes, they do.
And Nomad would say, Tyrrell.
Yes.
Are you all right?
For the time being, I think.
Speaking of all
Uh,
right, you do
fuck.
feel that creeping, crackling sensation has now traveled about halfway up your bicep.
Yep. I was gonna say, I wonder if there's a reason you were worried about the shoulder now.
Yeah, it's now halfway up your bicep.
Hmm.
Nomad would take a step back and kind of look at you for a second and say, I knew you carried something of importance, but I didn't realize it was so dangerous.
Are you telling? I'm sorry. Did you say you didn't realize it was so dangerous?
Nomad kind of just looks at you and says, you were not yourself. This object clearly holds great power, and in some way, a hold on you.
Yeah, you're about 2/3 right there. I'm pretty sure. But then again, no one really wants to tell me what this is, or no one knows exactly what this is. So it's just kind of touch and go for a while.
Nomad kind of just waits a beat and then says, perhaps leave the touch part out.
You know, I try my damnedest, but let's just say it's not always me who wants to touch it.
Nomad
Anyway,
would nod
uh,
slowly and say, is that one of the reasons you are accompanying me to Delvi Exnum?
this is one of them. But this particular item, I don't believe has a home in Telvex. I think I can just get help there for now.
By the way, for Elbrig, Misty, and Rolls Royce, you all, the moment this bag opened, you didn't know that this bag was open. You didn't know the cause. But you all simultaneously felt the temperature of your respective rooms drop significantly.
Right. As a Furblog magic touch, I'd be able to detect it anyway, but yes.
You all feel the temperature just drastically drop in your rooms.
Oh. Do we wake up from said temperature drop?
I mean, that's up to you, but yeah, it was about a 30-degree
Okay.
drop.
I would
do have
say
one.
if
Hold
you
on.
weren't already awake, it would be a perception check, probably.
Oh no, you can
Yeah,
perceive it, trust me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like I said, it
I
was
have a
Yeah,
question.
that much of a temperature drop? Yeah.
Yeah, like, probably
That
from,
that
like, about 60 to about 60 Fahrenheit, you know, early morning, sun not quite up, to, oh, we're in Siberia.
is that
yeah,
the
pretty much.
instantaneous drop was about 30 degrees.
I've got a question.
Okay.
How does this affect the doggo that we have now?
Samson is very wary.
As I figured.
Like, more so than he usually is.
That's when you'd hear the knock, knock, knock at your guys' door.
And if
Nomad.
there's a knock, 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 I'm telling Nomad not to open that yet.
Nomad.
I can hear through the door, right?
Yes.
Nomad would nod and go to the door and say, one moment.
Fuck, one moment. Did anyone else notice the temperature drop? What the hell is going on?
And we noticed it, but it kind of woke us up, so we need to get around before we open the door, if you don't mind.
What do you mean you need to get around before you open the door? One of you is a metal man who has no need to clean up whatsoever. And you
One of us.
I met you drunk.
You have to be drunk, sure. But
I love how that's the reasoning. One of you is a metal man, and the other, I met you drunk. Your pants were already off.
in this instance, I am sober, so that is not happening, sir.
What are you? No,
yeah,
I don't
about
know
that
what you're
time I wake up too.
Anyway, while that's
About that.
happening, I'm silently putting the item away and wrapping my arm further.
Okay.
Also, I kind of, once again, knocking at the door. Also, can you guys kind of clue me in on what happened? I kind of had a meltdown.
We're not
It's
sure what happened yet.
not normal for me and most people to come across beings of mass amounts of power and chaos.
Yeah, it's not exactly normal for anyone. That's why we're not 100% sure what happened. Just
I
that
mean,
it
Nomad
seems
kind of just hears this interaction and says, "It seems normal for me."
I was about to say, from what you guys have told me, it's more normal for you guys than it is for me.
okay. The mass amount of power is normal. The cold, not so much. Granted, I'm not that bothered by it, but you know, life.
And again, do we know the reason for the cold? Because I assume it has to do something with us.
That or it
Well,
could be connected to the town and its sleeping problem.
there's a sleeping problem in the town.
Yeah.
So what exactly? Can we not talk through the door? How long does it take for you to get dressed?
I'm ready now.
Open the door, then. This is ridiculous. I'm talking to fucking wood here.
Nomad would
Yep.
glance at Tyrell.
I
for
give you a
approval.
nod now.
Nomad opens the door.
I
Well,
emerge from my
well,
room.
well.
I'm like, what the heck's
Look
going
who
on, you guys?
decided
Why
to
is it so
join
cold?
us.
Listen.
Holy shit! It lives.
Listen.
The
I feel
Walmart seeketh, the Walmart giveth back.
All right. So the door is now open. You now see Nomad, fully in Nomad. Now, there's no real change. And
But he-
Tyrell now has his pants on backwards.
Yes.
The fuck?
Nomad also has pants on now, but we don't know why.
But Elbrig, one thing that you do notice without a perception check is that there are scatterings along the walls near Tyrell's bed. Scatterings of what seem to be shards of ice that have gripped onto the walls.
I slowly look from the ice towards Tyrell and raise a single eyebrow with a hand on my hip.
He also looks a little bit fresh and crispy.
what you guys got going on.
Oh well, you know,
Indeed. What's going on?
D&D.
Well, I assume that means wherever the cold originated from, it was close, but I don't know why. Also, I'm partially an ice tiefling, so that could just be a thing that happened.
There's ice tieflings? What?
Oh yeah, I should probably explain that. That's why I'm technically blue. I don't come from the normal stock. We'll just put it that way.
What is I kind of want to? No, not the time. Not the time.
Yeah, not the time right now. We'll get to that later.
So just the ice in your room. You have no clue where it comes from.
No, but it definitely woke me up.
You guys don't have any magical items, things in the past, curses, or things I should know about.
I mean, if you count the powerful deities that like to stalk us, that might be a curse.
From the corner of the room, you hear a soft chuckle.
Yo, what?
Like, you know what? I'm just yelling at the corner now. Not the time.
Followed by a very
Okay.
soft, sorry.
Did you get a woman?
I just look at Nomad. It's like, did you know she was here the entire time?
I had a suspicion.
Okay, just check.
God, the fuck is wrong with you people?
I don't know. The real question is, what's wrong with you? You're still here.
I said what's going on. I didn't say what's wrong. I know what's wrong. I have weird senses of normalcy.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Anyway, now that everyone's up,
Did the unconscious guy ever wake up? The fur blog we came across?
Yes, the Furbolg is in fact awake. He's currently AFK though.
Oh, I meant
he
because my
woke
character
up from
just
that.
had the breakdown. And was like, I'm just in character. I'm trying to catch up.
Oh, okay.
No, you're good.
Yes, the Furbolg. I believe he did say that the Furbolg would be present for this, so Rolls Royce, I
Yeah, I thought he
believe,
said
came out
that
to
too.
investigate as well.
Yeah, Rogogalore is actively here. Rologalore.
Regal T.
And then
It's
then I
free
was like,
real
okay.
estate.
And are all our rooms like next to each other? Like, is Misty's room somewhere near here?
Yes.
Because she's like the only one not here.
Misted shares with the Furbolg, correct?
Yes, Misty and the Furbolg are sharing. So
Just
Misty
to
and Rolls
clarify,
Royce.
What you missed before you joined, about
Thanks, Tim.
5:40 in the morning, you are made aware of the fact that your room has suddenly dropped by about 30 degrees.
Instantaneously.
Like, instantly.
Cold.
Yep. It suddenly got 30 degrees colder in an instant.
And it stopped after about 3 minutes, I'd say.
Along with some horn banging on the wall, but yes.
And also some conversation through a door in the next room over.
Indeed.
Misted would have been curious about the ridiculous temperature drop, that's for sure.
There are little like patches of ice or like frost that have accumulated on Misty's fur.
That would be deeply upsetting. How dare.
Best part of waking up.
Best part of waking up is possession in your cup.
No. It's frostbite on your nuts.
There
don't
is something
have-
deeply wrong with you.
I'm just imagining this conversation being in character.
I have returned.
Welcome back.
Jeez. I miss.
Sounds like something I would say.
I miss anything good? I miss anything good?
The best part of waking up, that's what you missed.
So,
Oh, goody.
while you all are all having this conversation, Elbrig is the one looking into the room, most accurately. Can you roll me a perception check real quick?
Albert, right?
Yes, please.
Trap Gwen.
I'm not ready. I got a 7.
He's having a hard time right now.
You see something kind of like shift along the back of the room.
Just gonna ignore it. So
If I don't look at it, it won't look at me, and it doesn't exist.
I'm gonna go find Misty because she was acting kind of weird last time. There was a lot of looking off into the distance and then not talking when she seems to be more of a talkative person. And we can all reconvene, and you guys can tell me what the fuck I missed after I had my breakdown. All right, good talking. I'll be right back. I'm gonna rush off my sister
Misty is literally in the hallway.
in the hallway. So I bump into Misty as I rush off to Misty.
You bump into Misty, and also a bunch of the ice on her fur shakes off and lands on your head.
So cold, but you're surprisingly soft.
Some of it falls down his shirt.
Brr.
I feel terrible because this is technically where Elbrig would almost, and unintentionally grope you because you have fur. So therefore, he thinks he's ran into Samson, so he just grip and be like, Samson, you're cold, and then realize it's missing. Be like, wait, I didn't mean anything. Hold up.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
All right, you're here. Great. Are you okay? Also, sorry for doing that. I thought you were Samson.
Samson, by the way, is still sitting in the doorway, staring into the room.
The doorway of our room?
Yes.
Okay, a little cold.
Would Nomad notice this?
Would
Really
he?
hard to miss a motherfucker.
What is Samson staring at?
Anyways.
What did you know, Magic Man?
Nomad would kind of look at the big shaggy dog and trace its gaze.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
As Elbrig and Misty were having a thing.
What's going on in there? Also, I don't really mind. I am quite soft.
Okay, good enough.
Sentient.
I was gonna go grab you because we're having this whole conversation about what's going on, and I kind of had a moment when we first came to town, so just want everybody to come in. We can get a whole. You guys can fill me in what I missed, and also to check to see if you're okay. Because on the ride here, you were a little like kind of distance, and lots of kind of looking off in distance and contemplating. So just wondering what's going on in your head.
Just a little concerned about what we saw in Silver Scale. I did report that, so hopefully that gets to the proper authorities and it's dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
That's just been a little concerning for me.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Well, Samson, stop blocking the doorway.
Surprisingly, Samson doesn't move.
Yes. So,
So, Samson is sitting in the doorway, staring at the back of the room, but not aggressively, as the tail is wagging.
Did we notice this in the room?
Nomad does.
Would I notice this?
Would you?
I mean, I'd be looking towards the doorway.
I mean,
Nope.
you'd notice the dog wagging his tail, staring into the room.
I'd just pay attention to the dog for now.
Okay, so you don't want to look around?
I'd be inquisitive about it, but I don't think I'd look around yet, seeing as what happened.
So, Nomad,
mhm.
with that wonderful perception check, you kind of follow Samson's look, and you too see something moving along the backside of your room. But you also notice the eyes.
Are they pink?
They are indeed.
In that case, Nomad doesn't mind.
Only, oddly enough, the form that you can perceive, you don't get that emanating explosion of power like you did when you first encountered them. It seems to be more of a shadowed mass. And instead of 2 eyes, there are now 8.
Okay.
Not creepy at all.
Peering through what
Not
looks
at
to
all.
be a porcelain white mask.
Do I recognize the mask?
You do indeed.
Is it one of the masks specifically from the book that I read?
It is indeed. It is very similar to your mask, but not the same. That's all you see.
Well, I again don't feel the need to investigate further.
Okay. And she's just
So,
kind of hanging out. You see her kind of
Yeah.
passing over your stuff, over Tyrell's stuff. Just wandering about.
Oh, great and powerful. Check your DMs.
I mean, that's not what's in the room, but
Yeah, it is.
yes, so if Elbrig were to also investigate, he would also see this.
Yep.
Same thing with
And-
Rolls Royce.
8 purple eyes, right?
8 pink eyes.
8 pink eyes.
peering through what looks to be a porcelain white mask attached to a rather large, shadowy figure.
And do I have any clue what that means?
Make either a history or a religion check.
Got a 12 in my religion check.
The form, not so much. The mask, you are aware that this is the mask of an Einker.
And an Einkar is.
One of the 14 crowns.
Right, wonderful. More powerful people I shouldn't be meeting for no apparent fucking reason. I'm gonna go rest in my room. You guys take care of the purple eyes. Bye.
This man's gonna go take a nap.
At that statement, I'm just gonna say the purple what?
As you kind of would address this, you two also notice the 8 pink eyes and the familiar, not form, but familiar presence of
Would I know
Imtrix.
exactly who this is due to previous?
Yes, you recognize that this would be Imtrix.
I'm just gonna start mumbling about chaos apparently following us everywhere.
Which
There's
the mask
there's irony somewhere in there.
the mask turns and faces you, and without like a mouth move or anything, just I follow no one. It just happens to be that you're where the party's at.
I just look at the mask, just dull faced, and be, that was actually a figure of speech this time.
Progress. And then you see the masked being simply just kind of wander towards the door before taking a more physical form. And the form that is chosen seems to be her most favorite form of a rather tall, even for the tabaxi you do know, rather tall tabaxi like form with 8 tails and 2 eyes. Only 2 eyes. But pale white fur. And she walks up and begins to gingerly pet Samson.
Nomad would have, upon realizing what was going on, immediately disregarded it and began packing his things. At
As
this
you do.
point, he's like, at this point, Nomad is probably just about finishing up and is prepared to exit the room, but is going to politely wait for both dog and god to no longer be in the way.
Upon getting his pats, rubs, and scritches, he does, in fact, follow after Elbrig. And Misty, as this is actually your first time encountering this thing while you are actually present, you are now in the presence of Imtrix, the 8th crown of chaos, who
Listen,
is very
Listen.
much tabaxi-like, with 8 long, slightly fluffy tails.
I'm just saying. I done seen her get pelted in the ass with a rock.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Speaking of that, I was actually on my way to Elbrig's door to knock and just tell him, hey, it's just the god you shot in the ass, you're fine.
Bastards.
You know I got nothing. I'm unnerved.
I mean, she's taller than you.
I know I'm unnerved. I got nothing. I'm unnerved.
You see her just
You
kind
got
of...
it off a rhythm.
You see her kind of like step out and just stretch. Oh.
Listen, I like knowledge. Chaos is unknowable. F it.
You see... Are you saying this in character?
No.
Oh. But
But in character, totally in character. Misted wants to know if the party wants pizza. Totally in character.
I want pizza.
None for Robbie.
I want sanity.
Yeah.
By the way, on this note, as you are all going about your business, gathering and packing whatnots, Mtrix does, in fact, begin to walk down the hallway and, without even seeming to knock or anything, just passes into the room with Elbrick.
No break run.
Yep. Not even through the door, just through the wall.
Yep, through the
And
wall.
then you just hear the sound of breaking glass 2 seconds later.
I mean, not really. Elbrick's kind of face down on his bed, just like, the journey was supposed to be dangerous. Thought it'd be coming later. We're in the very beginning of it. Get Crown of Chaos and Purple Eyes and Eight Tails and shit.
She just kind of like sits next to the bed and. So we never really did get to have a conversation, Elbrick.
Just like a full body flinch. No cursing, just full body flinch. Then a deep breath. I'm like, all right. Hello.
Well, hello.
Am I supposed to bow or something? I'm sorry about hitting you in the ass. I just thought you were like, again, sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's not the worst I've ever had. Could have been harder, but that's beside the point.
I wasn't trying to wound anybody. Never mind, unimportant. So, to be honest, giant question: why are you here? I mean, also, why? I like pointed at the wall that leads to the other rooms. Why are they so involved with all of you?
You see her kind of like sit for a moment and just. Well, I will say we don't visit the Sprawl very often. But it's not unheard of for we Ainkur to interact with the mortal races. I'm just allowed to do so more freely than the others. And I know everyone else's goals in all this. I know their desires. I know their goal, their destination. But I don't know yours.
Uh-oh.
Something happened.
Elbrick has checked out.
There we go.
Do you know what I know?
You good now, Quinn? I think Quentin may have died.
Uh-oh.
In the arms of the angel.
But as that's all happening, the rest of you are free to go about your day.
I am off to find liquor.
You don't have to go very far.
Keep it light. It's the middle of the morning.
Don't
It's
question
5
me.
o'clock somewhere. He has returned.
I didn't say I was getting that bad, Nomad. I'm just looking for some.
Really? This is how I run away.
There we go. There you are.
So right now, my internet and my power's out, so I'm just talking here on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it literally just went down right as you started talking. It was like, da da da. Yep.
She basically stated that she knows everyone else in the party's goals, desires, and purposes, and basically she knows what they're doing. But as she and the other Einker have not really been to the sprawl, she doesn't know really what yours are.
And this is where my wanting of knowledge might put me in danger. Are you willing to tell me the wants and desires of everybody else in the party? Because they're all being really sketchy, and I mean them no harm, and I'm probably going to end up helping them doing it because it all ends very interesting information as far as it looks like. So, I mean, if we shared, it wouldn't be that bad, right?
Well, that I believe is for them to decide. But
Damn it.
I will say it would be rather interesting for me, in the very least. But again, I still am not very keen on your story.
Right, my part. So if you haven't noticed, I'm not exactly like most of my other halfling kin there. As a race in general, we're all kind of pretty happy-go-lucky. Unfortunately, I seem to follow after a very long past ancestor that wasn't as jolly. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Yeah. So I know you're real. Obviously, you're here. I can see you and all that stuff. But kind of for my own self fulfillment, I guess. I really want to know if the different afterlives are real and dying, well, might be the quickest way there. Doesn't let me kind of confirm and bring my findings back home.
You see her kind
Also,
of tilt her head. Well, I believe the one you'd be seeking then would be Arknaus himself, as he is master of all of that.
any clue where he is?
Well, he's very selective with who he chooses to visit. Although,
That makes sense.
I do believe that he has a few very particular fondnesses, one of which I watched you meet. A particular very old furbolg. That one happens to be one of his favorites.
Oh, the captain. Okay.
You see her
Good to
kind
know.
of nod her head. The others probably would be found in. Well, you're already heading to Delvia Ixnum for one, and the other would probably be in the Black Keep in Abcassis.
The what now? The black what?
The Black Keep of Abcassis.
Okay. Okay. Good to know.
It is the capital of Venaru and one of the oldest fortresses on the land.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, that is. I appreciate the info, and has another general question just to put it out there. Why exactly is Samson okay with you? Because I mean, you're not necessarily a cat, but you're a cat-like. I would have figured there'd be something, you know.
You see her kind of pause for a moment, look at you, and then just. Well, to be completely honest, this is just the form I enjoy taking. And you see her body shift one more time. The 8 tails disappear. And instead now, sitting there before you, is a body of completely stark white, including these pink eyes that seem a little bit more vacant than anything else, and long flowing snow white hair.
Well, that explains a certain amount of things. Pretty well.
We, as Einkur, are able to shapeshift at will. Now, whether or not we maintain a form is up to us. If it has walked, breathed, thought, or existed, a good chance that we can turn into one. As for
That is
your
pretty cool.
companion, well, let's just say he knows who can be trusted.
Okay.
Also, I just have a way with animals.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Besides the whole um seeing if different paradises or afterlives, be they good or bad, actually existing. I am somewhat of a religious focused magic man. Or okay, well, technically, that way past ancestor had some type of encounter with uh, a deity of some sort. So there's a little bit of the good stuff running through my veins. And seeing as the party is what the party is that we have right now, and the dangerous situations that apparently they've all already gone through, got any hints or tips about how to increase a guy's power so that he survives to figure out if the paradises are real?
Never
I mean,
have I
you all
ever imagined that somebody would describe divine magic as the good stuff.
It's D&D. We got that good stuff.
Look, if I wasn't an anxiety-stricken type of guy, I'd probably be Scanlan. So
No, basically, yeah. But no, she just kind of stops and, well, the only way to grow more powerful is through trial, error, and experience. After all, that's what the dream is about. Growing, experiencing, learning, and living. Death is the final step.
that is all quite true. But also, you know, when you meet someone more experienced than yourself, sometimes in the search for knowledge and growth, those individuals are nice enough to point you in a good direction. Huh?
You see her kind of grin a little bit. If you're looking for tutelage or a way to understand your abilities, you're heading to the right place. Aside from that, I know of one individual, homed in Abkassis, that might be able to help you rather particularly if you do not find them at Delvey.
Ooh, okay, cool, awesome. This individual's name would be.
Well, I could tell you. However, I am the Crown of Chaos. What fun would it be if I just gave you everything? Although, I will give you this. Your Tabaxi companion? That would be her boss, her master, her mentor.
Gotcha.
As it goes with the divine arts, I believe she is the most advanced you will find here.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay. Back on Discord on my computer.
Cool. Yeah, she just kind of motions to Misty and references that to ask further questions of that particular nature would probably be best directed towards the one who Misty says is her master and mentor.
Oh, okay. And then one last.
Okay. Oh, he died again.
Damn it, I died again.
Just
Let me do that.
claimed another.
Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Who died? What?
You good? You good?
Very good. And I hope it's getting out alive and everything, and not just me, but also Samson. Yeah, again, one of those pointing in the right directions or giving me some riddle to figure out so that I can, that it's fun and not just give him freebies. A way to empower Samson, because he's technically, though he's my loving buddy here, as I scratch his head and everything, he is also a dog and might be prone to death when it comes to the dangerous stuff we might be getting into. So, gotta keep him safe.
You see her kind of stop for a moment, pass her eyes over to Samson, give him a rather strange look, and just. I believe he will be fine.
And that's like like just a hunch or like a divine, because you're a crown thing, he'll be okay thing. Because he dies, I'm gonna freak out and lose my shit. To be honest.
You see her kind of like keep kind of glancing over at Samson, and from what you could tell of her face, she kind of like raises an eyebrow at him and like tilts her head at him, and then nods and he will be fine. Trust me. He can handle himself.
Okay. I'm like squinting my eyes. I'm like super suspicious. That's why she's talking like this about my dog. But okay. All right. She's gonna move over next to the dog. Like,
I mean, between yourself and a god, who do you think is more likely to be able to speak woof?
that's why I'm like moving over to my dog and just like looking him in the eyes and see if there's like more than the normal amount of intelligence behind the eyes or something like that. Cause I'm just suspicious.
Make
I'm
an insight
literally-
check.
Are you? And I'm doing that look like, are you more than you appear to be? That type of shit.
make an insight check.
Here, let me reload the fucking. What? She's acting. I'm very like concerned something has happened to my dog or something. Insight, where are you? Damn it! Why didn't I focus on insight in this fucking character? Oh, I got 60.
As you look into Samson's eyes, and those beautiful eyes peer back into you, full of love and hope and comfort, there is a hint of very much deeper intelligence behind them.
I slowly look back at her and just like, I, I'm just gonna hold my dog. I'm done talking and everything. I'm good. You're still my buddy. Still the same. You probably know more than I should let on.
Don't worry.
I'm just gonna rub my dog and be done with this.
Don't worry. He's faithful. He'll take care of you.
Mm-hmm. Nice meeting you.
Samson just kind of like lets his tongue loll out the side.
Hey, man, dogs are pretty smart.
Mhm.
I mean, they're dumb as hell, and I love them for that. They can be pretty darn smart.
And you see her kind of nod, stand up, and resumes her original tabaxi-like form, the 8 tails sprouting out once more. And she just seems to vanish.
Just make sure, just like I'm just looking around, making sure she's actually gone, and this is gonna like jump out and try to steal the shit.
I mean, you can do a perception check.
Yeah, no, definitely gonna do perception check. Well, that about checks it. We got a 7.
Seems to be gone.
Kind of just deflate against Samson. Oh, thank God.
None of the
Yeah,
rest of
that's
you
me.
see
I'm done.
her. She seems to be gone. For now. And the day is yours.
Shout from the room. So
You
are we
already
doing
know
anything?
where I can be located.
Tyrell is at the bar, where the bartender is still asleep.
Oh, I forgot. I gotta go
He
check
won't be
on
for long. I found out my horns can be used as percussion instruments today.
He is still asleep.
I just take something from the bar
Doesn't
and
even
leave a
try and
silver
stop
there.
you. Does not
I
even
take
try.
something and just leave a silver. I don't care anymore. I just take something and leave some silver.
Okay. I mean, you're technically stealing, but okay.
It's paid for. It's not my fault.
because that's exactly what the law will understand.
All right. Well, all things considered, the day is all yours. What are you all doing?
Furball. I go find the Furball to check in to make sure that he's actually okay.
Yeah, Rolls
Nomad
Royce
would,
seems to be fine.
Nomad would probably go out and check on the horses,
Okay, they're still there.
and feed them and everything. And as he's doing so, take a look around the square.
Not too many people out. It's pretty early.
Dying.
And I need you to roll up a new character. Nomad's now dead.
I was more suggesting that the person, Daniel, was dying.
Ah, okay. Roll up a new
We
He was,
player.
in fact, a weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
All right, roll up a new
What?
person.
God damn it! All right. Hold on.
You gotta get yourself a new
This one's
personality.
even more metal than the last.
Shit! I rolled Hitler.
That
I'll get
is
the
a
blimp.
horrible roll.
I'll get the blimp.
Anyways,
You mean
This
Zeppelin?
is a Zeppelin.
Zeppelins.
No. You don't understand. You don't understand. The Goodyear blimp man will handle this. Never you fear.
I believe it. The Goodyear man has claimed many lives.
More than you can count.
all right. So, you guys have all gathered up. Rolls Royce is in fact awake and alive.
Yeah, I've been in the hallway this whole time watching what was going on, but I didn't
Just
really do
standing
anything.
there,
Yeah, just standing there. Like,
Just sort of
okay.
like-
menacingly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know about menacingly. I think probably more dumbfoundedly, just like, what the hell is going on?
Pretty much.
All right.
So, yeah, Rolls Royce, Elbrig will come out of his room and look at you, or looking for you, see you, and then be like, "So, you kind of are you joining it? Just like, what are your plans? Because apparently, you and Tyrrell or something have Tyrrell and what's his name, the middleman, have some type of common ground you guys talked about before you pass out again after getting all the arrows taken out of you."
Shit, I'm trying to think here.
You can
I
do it,
remember the
Fraggle Rock.
Hey, somebody who actually knows my character's name. Anyway, yeah. I do believe the plan was to get my character to, I think it's Delvey Extum or wherever it was, so that my character can. That's weird.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
She's dead.
Yep.
Dead.
Oh. Bye bye. Roll a new character.
No, she got a phone call from work.
And the Walmart claims another soul.
But
Pretty
yes,
much.
the idea was that you were being taken to Delvey Ixnam to the Guild of the Planar Hunters to file a report as to what happened to you, as that would be in Silivor Fields, where the Guild of Planar Hunters headquarters in Delvey Ixnam is over jurisdiction of Silivor Fields.
Right.
To find Rasiri. But as you were.
It lives!
Sorry, work.
Uh-oh.
All good.
But yeah,
Blah, blah.
do you guys have anything else you want to take care of?
Yeah, Richard. We're in where again? Ashstone?
Ashstone.
Is there anything well known about Ashstone?
I mean, aside from the fact that everyone is tired, that is a human or part human, and has been experiencing these vivid dreams and memories.
I've had little vivid dreams and memories.
There's a very young girl that's running a bookstore.
Yes, Mister is quite concerned.
Hmm. And I had something.
However, at about this hour, Mister is going to be a very hungry kitty and would like some breakfast.
Okay. As you head into the lobby of the inn and you approach the bar, you see the bartender there, human male, passed out.
I basically follow her down the steps, also wanting food.
Same thing. He's passed out.
Is there anything behind the counter, like food wise, drink wise?
This man's gonna fetch himself a snack.
I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna do the same thing. Leave him some coinage.
There's just a growing pile of coin.
Yeah.
I'm going to gently tap the man,
Shh, don't do it.
No reaction.
give him
Okay.
a slight little wiggle, just as ginger as the one I did when I wiggled that girl's hand. Just a big gentle paw. Just go wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Not a reaction at all.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
At that point, my character would just turn to Misted and tell her, I tried using my head as an instrument and still didn't bat an eyelash. I don't think we're waking this one up.
I'm sitting there eating some food and drinking some drink, just watching her wiggle this poor guy as he's trying to fucking sleep.
Listen, man. Misted feels deeply uncomfortable. She wants the noms.
That's probably the accurate response, but yeah, that's just the thing.
She's uncomfy and she wants the noms, but she doesn't want to go into this man's pantry and get it.
Well, sucks to be you.
So guys, where did you guys learn about the whole sleep thing? As I point towards the guy who's obviously sleeping.
A whole lot, really. Just the fact that this has been going on for quite some time, and that pretty much anybody who's human or human related has this problem, but everybody else is
Human
perfect.
adjacent.
Adjacent.
I'm gonna go ahead and go to the guy who's asleep. Probably hop up onto the bar because I'm quite short, and like pick up his head and give him the once over. I'm like basically giving him a checkup to see like are there any signs of an infection or anything like that. General health stuff.
Perform a medicine check.
Got an 11.
There aren't any other signs aside from the signs of fatigue and exhaustion. But also, you notice that he doesn't seem to be breathing.
Oh, this guy's dead. And like, there's that scare moment where I drop his head to the fucking table, and there's a thunk, and I'm like, oh, this guy's dead.
You all collectively hear the "Oh, this guy's dead!" thump.
The fuck?
Hey, what? No. Just no. This man's cannot be dead. I need this man to make my breakfast.
That's what you're concerned about in this minute?
That is her major
Right?
concern. Not the fact that there's
I
a
know,
dead
no.
body sitting here at the bar. Instead of just the fact that, but my breakfast.
But my breakfast.
Does he have like any
Um,
kind of wounds
Tira
or
would
anything
look
on him
around the
or anything,
room.
or
Does he have
Does he
any
have
sort
any
of what?
does he have any kind of wounds or anything on him? Or
Well, now he
any
has a
lesions?
fucking lump on his forehead.
Well,
Listen, man.
besides
Listen, man.
that, is there anything that
Uh,
could indicate what happened to him?
Aside from signs of massive exhaustion and fatigue, you'd have to make a medicine check.
Listen. I'm just saying, dead bodies do not grow lumps on their head after you drop them. So I'm just gonna re-examine him because I need to know if this man truly be dead or not.
You learned the same exact thing.
Okay, that's what
Do I
was
also learn that this man's is dead?
He is not dead.
Do I know that?
You do know that. The others don't, but you
just
can
us
pick up
three
a
do.
faint pulse.
Okay. So here's the deal. This man is not dead, but he is far, far too gone to make my breakfast, and this is an emergency.
What?
Yeah,
wait, hold
he's
up.
what?
Which part of this is an emergency?
Yeah,
He's
that's my
gone
question.
or your breakfast?
My breakfast.
That's the emergency. Okay.
What do you
Right,
usually
yeah.
eat for breakfast?
First of all, I require my cup of milkies,
Okay. What
And
else do you have with breakfast?
preferably some fish and crackers. Thank you.
At this point, I just hop over the counter and start rummaging. Because I know we're not getting anywhere until she gets this.
Nothing
Yeah.
seriously, nothing. No, just
You do
Gonna ignore-
detect a very slight pulse.
He's alive. He's not dead.
Suddenly, it's not her problem.
Yeah,
I
I'm
feel-
going rummaging for what she's requiring because I know we're not going to get anywhere if we don't.
I feel like we should probably inform somebody that this guy needs medical attention, like ASAP.
Yes, thank you for having a reasonable reaction to the man. I thought he was dead.
And I told you he's not.
Nomad would at this point walk back inside and just see everybody crowding around this guy and say, "What are you all doing?"
Hey kid, you want to see a dead body?
He's dead. Oh yeah. Hey kids, want to see a dead body?
Okay, he's not dead. I just thought he was because there's a very, very small pulse. Okay, my mistake. But anyways, we should probably tell someone because, you know,
Yeah, take his ass to the infirmary or something.
public decency, humanitarianism. I don't know.
One would think.
Is there an apothecary in town
So
Nomad would approach
or a church?
and examine the man. Is he conscious?
No,
distinctly not.
Is he alive?
there's a slight
Yes.
pulse.
Nomad would prop him up in a nearby chair
So
And,
technically, yes. Technically.
and sort of shake him gently and say, "Are you okay?"
No, man,
No
we've
response.
been trying to do that this entire time. Like
No,
we
man.
didn't
Does anyone
we didn't
have
just
a
sit
healing
here and
spell?
Think
do
for a
nothing.
second. Go behind the bar. Find some source of water and get a cup of water.
No, Matt, stop. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
The man is
Just-
clearly suffering from apparently exhaustion. Let him sleep. We just talked about how the entire time he's having trouble sleeping.
So,
There's no need to do that to him.
hang on.
Just
So, as Nomad grabs this glass of water, with Misty having the highest of this, you notice the water looks oddly colored. Misty.
Describe oddly colored to me, please.
It has this slight, almost purplish tint.
That ain't that cheap.
Would Nomad notice this?
I'm gonna.
With a perception of 15,
Let's see.
which is her passive perception.
Nope, Nomad does not notice this.
Hey, Nomad, let me see that cup.
Nomad would kind of look at you quizzically, but hand you the cup.
So first, I'm gonna examine the Lake Cup.
Okay.
So I'm assuming I need an investigation because I
Investigation.
want. Oh, good. I know nothing.
You know it's not the right color of water. And
I do know.
the tint is not coming from the cup.
The tint is not. That's what I wanted to know. Was the tint coming from the cup? Thank you.
Tis the liquid inside
Would
the
I
cup.
know if it smelled funky?
With that roll, it smells a bit more like rock and stone. A very familiar scent to you, oddly. But you can't really place it.
I can't really place it. And it smells like stones or like rocky terrain.
Mhm.
Minerally, if you will.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Ah, yes, mineral water. Not
at
the
this
drinking
point-
kind.
At this point, I'm going to explain to everyone else sitting around the bar, please do not drink the water. This water is distinctly the wrong color and smells wrong.
Where
Nomad
did
would
he get the water from?
consider this for a second and nod and then say, "May I have the glass back?"
I'm gonna hand it back to you, and I'm gonna ask, where did you get it from?
Nomad would point towards the back, where I assume he found a tap.
It's actually more like a barrel.
Ah, a barrel. And then Nomad would go over to the dude and gently tip the glass of water over his head.
We just told you not to do that.
Now he's wet and still no reaction.
I was about to say, very technically, we didn't tell him not to pour it on his head.
I literally told him not to do it. I literally said, "Stop, Nomad, stop! Don't do this to that man."
You did not say those words.
The fuck I didn't.
At
You-
this
you
point, I would
really
say
didn't.
Tyr will be coming back with Misted's breakfast requirements and just kind of ask if anyone's tried any sort of healing spells on him yet.
He, again, from what we just went over and the thing we're talking about, he is exhausted, and I don't know the healing spell of the powerful healing spell it takes to get rid of exhaustion. But
I'm
a good
not
thing to focus
exactly-
on, a better thing to focus on right now is the minerally, as I look back at Mystery, water, and what is apparently tainting the water, because that's not normal coloration.
Yeah, that's why I asked about the healing spell. It might not be sleep as much as it might be a poison.
I don't have the spell that gets rid of poison. I the only healing spell I have is the one that closes wounds, so that will not affect this guy who is healthy. Besides what looks like exhaustion.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. I was more just inquiring if anyone had that type of spell.
Actually, does anyone else here have magic? Like I'm technically a divine caster.
Listen, I know. I really, really want to do the thing that is my favorite thing. But I've already been so immature.
Nomad
although-
would
Go ahead.
think carefully, step 10 feet away from the man, turn to make sure nobody is within 5 feet range of him, and then cast Thunderclap.
With
Oh, wait a minute.
What is wrong with you?
Roll your attack.
It is not an attack. It is a at-will cantrip. That
Oh no.
so
Isn't that also a dex saving throw?
well, here's the thing.
It would
Each
be
He
an
creature
fails it
auto
within
hit
automatically?
range other than you within a 5-foot area must succeed on a con save or take 1d6 thunder damage. There is nobody within 5-foot range of me. However, it does create a burst of thunderous sound that can be heard up to 100 feet away.
Oh, so you're not casting it directly on the guy.
Okay.
No, no, no.
Okay, I was about to say, this
No.
man is just out cold, and Nomad's just hearing everybody. Do we have any way to magically heal this man? And Nomad goes, I have an idea. Thunderclap.
Well, Nomad is more trying to get this man to wake up. Because the sleep that he's having is not healthy.
Yeah, okay, so after that happens, is there a reaction?
Yep.
As the rest of us are holding our ears?
Yep. You see him kind of like quickly jump up and then like rock the chair backwards and fall.
Nomad would walk up and help him to his feet and say, "My apologies, but we tried every other available means to wake you."
Ow!
You can fully and
Ow!
utterly blame him. I had no part in this.
Oh, I do! Oh, ow! Why?
Are you sure you didn't hit them with that spell, Nomad?
Nomad would like glance over him and look at the bump on his head and said, "Why is his head injured?"
Anyone hear
Ask
any ringing?
You see him just
No-
kind of like rub his forehead and. What the fuck is wrong with you? All of you, what the hell?
Nomad would turn to him and say, "Sir, it seems that we have discerned a possible cause of your restless slumber these past few months."
And that he just kind of like looks at you very slowly. I fucking hope so. If you're waking me up like that.
Nomad would nod and say, "Where do you get your water?"
You would not say, where do you get your water? What?
Nod and say.
Oh, nod. I heard not say, where do you get your water? I'm like, what the
No.
fuck?
Nomad would nod and ask, "Where do you get your water?"
From the pool to the south, at the base of the mountains.
Nomad would consider this and ask, "Does the entire town get their water supply there?"
Yes, it's the closest freshwater supply we have.
Nomad would glance at Misted. "I think we have something to investigate."
I mean, before we go investigate for no good reason, can we find someone who will pay us to investigate? Because unlike you, I don't have this giant backing of free money.
Yeah, what's money?
The thing I need to survive.
Shit, you right.
Nomad would think about it and then turn to the man and ask, "Do you know of any apothecaries here in town?"
Or where the leader of the town resides, so that we can bring the situation to them.
You see him just kind of like pass eyes between the two of you. Apothecary, no. That be Listelcrass. As the closest one. As for the leader of the town, you'd probably find him still in the law halls. He's the judge.
Nomad
Alright,
would
we should
nod.
go talk to the judge.
Nomad would nod and say, and Nomad would nod and start to leave and then turn back around and say, "Try not to drink anything made with that water, if at all possible."
You see him just kind of like panically look over at the barrel, and then look at you, and then look at the cup, and then look at you. Right. Right.
Just put this out there as I'm talking to the barkeep. Stay on the bar, of course, because otherwise he won't be able to see me. Maybe try boiling it until it's clear. Then maybe you have something to drink.
If there's like actual minerals or something in there, boiling it wouldn't actually clear it up. Although if you boiled it and distilled it all out and got rid of the water, you might be left with the residue of whatever the water is being tainted with.
Were you like a geologist or something?
He's nature smart, not actual thing smart.
He is nature smart, not book smart.
Listen, he knows about rock.
Nomad actually stops and thinks for a second. And then pauses and turns to the rest of the party. "I believe there is a spell we could use to assist, but it is not one that I know."
By the way, Elbrig, at the mentioning of that process, a memory flashes through your head. A memory of being aboard Captain Thomas's ship and that strange contraption he had.
Oh, that's right. He does have one of those things. I like pull out the coin that I have. That is Captain Thomas's. And I'll wait till we get paid. I put the coin back away.
So,
Like, I also might have a way to help out after we talk to the judge. Let's go talk to the judge so that, if we are going to do this, we can possibly get rewarded for it. Because, again, like most normal people, I don't have wealthy backers.
Nomad would, while you are saying this, have already started heading towards the doors and is like at the door waiting for everybody.
All right, so you guys will be heading to the law halls then?
Aye.
not this bastard again.
All right. And I will say at that moment, we are going to take a short break.
Okay.
Awesome.
However, I wish for everyone to know that, in fact, now every time I bring up D&D, my boss asks how the party is dealing with a 7-foot tall cat lady. So yeah, how are you guys holding up with the 7-foot tall cat lady?
I mean, they've encountered
one?
an 8.5 foot tall cat lady with 8 tails.
True.
I mean, a 7-foot tall cat lady is not the craziest thing we've seen.
No,
And it's
This
only
is
been,
true.
what, 3 sessions?
I believe this is number 4.
Yeah, so it's only been 3.
All right. Damn it, pitch. Lead me to my sexy and evil affairs.
Indeed.
Just cue the Minecraft music.
All right, so you all know where you're going.
Yep.
You are heading to the Law Hall of Ashstone, which is
Apex
Misty's
is
favorite
dead.
place. Apex is indeed dead. And so is Quinn.
And so am I. Inside.
Ah, yes. Internal death.
There's the baby.
The fuck?
Where's the baby? There he is.
There he is.
I am greatly concerned.
As you should be.
What, have you never had that fantasy? Where Apex is a newborn infant and you're doing Where's the Baby with him?
I thought that was normal.
Yeah, I have that one like twice a week.
Honestly. Apex, clearly unbothered by us.
All right. So, that being said, you all make your way into the law hall, and you do, in fact, see the familiar sight of the top of the head of a gnome sitting behind a rather large desk with a collection of individuals wandering about the hall.
Nomad would lead the pack, so to speak, this time.
Okay.
And would walk up to the desk.
You hear a deep inhale. Would you like to make a report? Are you here for a trial or a court case? Are you here to serve time?
We do have a report to make.
Oh, lovely.
We're unsure whether this has any bearing on the strange, sleepless affliction that is in the city right now, but we've noticed that the water from the inn, and presumably all of the water from the southern pool, appears to not be pure. There's something in it.
You see him just kind of like stop for a moment, and then just kind of like sits up a little bit further and pulls himself like higher up onto the desk. Okay.
And in the interests of the town and hopefully for some monetary reward, we're willing to go towards the source of where you traverse water and possibly fix the problem.
You see him just kind of pause for a moment. Well, I'm not authorized to give out any kind of reward.
So, can we talk to somebody who is?
Nomad would kind of interject. I am aware that there are spells commonly used in some parts of the world that can purify water. Maybe not a permanent solution to this issue, but for the time being, it may be best to find individuals with access to this ability and use it to, for the time, at least solve one issue.
You see him just kind of nod and start rummaging through some papers on the desk and underneath. And just a moment. Be right back. And he just kind of slides off the chair and just hear as he kind of disappears around the corner. A couple minutes pass.
But while he's gone, real quick, Nomad can't give away the secrets until we get assurance of pay. I mean, I know we've started off really well, but money is important to traveling and all that stuff.
Nomad kind of looks at you and sort of just blankly says, I do not believe we should hold the population of a city hostage with
We're not
information.
holding them
that we have
hostage. We're just trying to get paid. I'm not saying we're not going to give them the information. I'm saying, just wait so that we can get assurance of payment. So there's a possibility. Because I mean, if we just give it away for free, they don't have to pay us. And then there's no money, making travel harder, life harder in general.
A few more minutes pass. And then you hear and the gnome hops back up onto the chair and then proceeds to climb up onto the desk. Alright, so I spoke to the High Judge, and this is his quotes. If what you're saying leads to any full information as to what is causing these problems, detection of the problem, and proper understanding of what is causing it offers a reward. So solving the problem offers a higher reward. Now, if what you're saying is true, and you do in fact find whatever it is you're thinking it might be you're looking for, and seem to be able to prove it, and can come back and report that, he's willing to offer you 500 gold. If you perchance are able to solve the problem there and then, or offer a solution that can be implemented quickly to resolve this issue, the reward goes up to 850 gold.
Wonderful. That sounds great.
Nomad would nod and think for a second, and turn to Tyrrell specifically and ask, do you believe we have time enough to make a detour?
I don't see an issue with that. It's gonna take a while to get there anyway.
Nomad would nod. and then turn and ask, do you know how far the southern pool is from Ashstone?
You see him kind of stop for a moment, again looking over some papers. About 4-hour walk.
Nomad would nod and say, thank you. We will investigate to the best of our abilities and return with whatever news we find.
You see him pause for a moment. Hey, what? Just real quick, and he starts rummaging through his papers real quick and pulls out a not necessarily too terribly long, but a rather large, what looks to be a contract scroll, and rolls it out onto the table. All right, I'll just need the names of everyone and what name we'll be referring to you all by, so that in the case that you actually come back and are successful with one or the other option or both, we'll be able to issue out payments legally. And then
To sign my name on the contract, and instead of being able to sign my name, I just put an X on there because my intellect is 6.
Well, you told us your name, correct?
Yes, it is pronounced Rolagalore.
So Nomad would spell it out,
Oh, okay, that works.
and then share his name and allow the rest of the party to share their names. And then
Go ahead.
would pause for a moment and turn and say, what shall we call our group?
While everyone is thinking of that, I'm gonna read the contract.
all right, the contract is very cut and plain. It is an agreement to be performing this investigation and action under the say and privilege of the law halls of Ashstone, under the lawkeeper himself, which, though the name is there, it looks just really weird. As the name that you do see is written in is the name Dimnova, but could be said another way.
Would you like to spell it?
Dymnovah.
Dymnnovh. Like that? Put that in a different whatever. Let me put that in the actual.
Gosh, that guy's name is such a meme.
That thing?
Dimnova.
Ah, yes. The Dimnova King.
Oh, God, that's a god, isn't it?
Anyways.
But yeah, seeing as this seems like a normal type of contract, right? There's nothing that seems to be finicky about it.
It does promise the pay of 500 gold reward for any information regarding the cause and any kind of proof or reports as to how this is being caused or what is happening, and the higher pay of 850 gold for any solution that is a permanent, long-standing solution.
All right, wonderful. Okay, cool. Like, okay, and I'll go ahead and sign along with everybody else when it comes to the names, and also put Sam's name on there just because he's a part of it.
All right. And as you're all clustered around, you do see that there is a rather elderly-looking human male that enters into the hall from where the gnome had entered in. And he too looks somewhat ragged, but nowhere near as seemingly exhausted and tired as any of the others of his race. He is a darker skinned male. He has a more brown complexion than anything else. and he has a very particular strange tattoo on his forehead, along with no hair, completely bald.
You recognize the tattoo?
Go ahead and roll a. Yeah, this would be history. Yeah,
Fantastic.
no
Nomad does
clue.
not.
But he does step around and
Do I know anything?
so Misty, you recognize this as a family tattoo. This is a emblem or marking for a house or a family. Particularly this now being of the House of Dimnova.
'Kay.
Which one individual in particular comes to mind as being a resident of Delvi Ixnum as part of the Guild of Planar Hunters. He steps around. So you're the lot that's gonna be helping the town, huh? Well, it's been long enough. Hopefully you'll find something that'll actually help us. Until then, your reward will be safe and sound until your return. And if you don't mind, you could be taking one of the blood onyx with you to make sure that you actually are going where you say you're going and investigating what you say you're investigating, if it's not too much trouble.
Onyx.
Nomad would nod and say, that would be a great help, as we are not all
One-
familiar with this land.
Again,
One
what's a blood onyx?
One moment, Pitch. So those are the guards. This city's guards.
Correct.
Okay.
It is the military.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just kind of need to know. I'm not just gonna agree to anything.
They are the military of Venaru. They currently
Okay.
are acting as guards throughout all the cities and towns that require them.
All right. Okay. Then yes. Okay. We'll go with that, yeah.
They are called the Blood Onyx as their armor is black and red.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
He'll just kind of, all right, I will see to it, and we can get that done for you right away. Just tell them that Lawkeeper Dimnova is having you take one of them from their post to investigate the current issues with sleeplessness and these vivid memories and dreams. And hopefully we are looking to find a solution soon.
Fingers crossed.
He kind of nods, though looking at Nomad with a little bit of uncomfortableness.
Since Nomad is a little off strange.
Mm-hmm. And he then kind of looks at the paper that the gnome had been jotting down and writing about. Strange colored water. Mineral-like. Thimble. And you see the gnome just kind of sit bolt upright. Yes! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! You have my permission to front them some money. Just, let's call it a show of good faith. Yes, sir. Well, if nothing else, this will be pay for trouble. And he nods and takes his leave. All right, so typically the upfront pay is, and he's literally just doing math real quick. Be 100 gold, directly paid. And he reaches down, and you see him just start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Before he just kind of shakes his head and just puts it all into a bag and onto the table.
Okay. So wait,
Thank you.
do we each get 100 gold, or is that split up between the 5 of us?
We would each get 20. Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
For the initial, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Misted would like to. Well, I am assuming that Nomad, being the one that is up there at their counter, is going to be the one to grab the bag.
Nomad would probably grab the bag and then hold on to it until we exit the law hall.
All right, and he grabs a skull, rolls it up, ties it. You see him put a stamp and seal on it, and then hands it to Nomad.
Nomad would tuck it carefully into his pack.
All right, well,
then-
good luck, and I really, really hope this works.
Nomad nods. We hope to return with good news. And then would nod to the rest of the party and begin leaving.
Yeah, at this point, Misted is going to pipe up, and so before we go off looking for the southern pool, we probably ought to stop and get at least a couple of things if we want to bring back proof. Like, I know we're bringing somebody with us, and they would be able to speak for us to prove our claims. But if we want to gather proof, we probably should be taking water samples. Plus,
That's
it's just good
actually
to have for references.
Nomad would look at Misted and say, yes, that is what I was planning to go gather. Among one of the things I intended to investigate still in town. Another was
Great.
to visit other locations and ensure that they are also suffering from the same, well,
The same tainted water.
line water situation. After all, it would be unfortunate if we were to travel to the pool right away and discover it was only the inn that we were staying at that had this problem.
True. I vote we go check out the bookshop. I'd really like to check in on that girl, and I feel like that's a safe place to ask.
Why are we
Nomad
checking in
would
on my girl?
think and say, all right. We should also probably afterwards find a general store.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Or perhaps the store first and then the shop, because we didn't exactly keep a sample of the water before.
Just
No
And
matter
checking.
if he has any sense, he's gotten rid of the barrel he had.
Nomad nods and would, once outside, would proceed to open the sack of gold and count it out and split it 5 ways, so 20 for each.
Go ahead and add 20 gold to each of your income right there.
And then would glance around to see where the closest general store would be.
The closest general store would probably be on the. So, because you're there, it would actually be about 2 buildings down from the Vormint Books.
Nomad would point it out. Let's check there.
Indeed.
I'm gonna put a little hat on him, and he just sounds so dapper, doesn't he?
What?
Snaggle Rock over there.
Oh my god.
Sorloth.
Lagalore,
He is the
Troll's
Lorax. He
voice.
speaks for the trees.
Raggle Fraggle.
So where are y'all heading? General store or Vormit Books?
General store.
All right. There's a general goods store, and at first glance, nothing. No one's really coming in or out. And at this point, it's probably about 6:30 in the morning. And
Is it open?
as you go up to the door, it's locked.
Perhaps we should wait. It is still early in the morning. Let us go find a member of the Onyx, the Blood Onyx, to accompany us.
Sounds good to me.
As you pass by the bookstore, you do realize the door is still open.
Did you say still?
Still open.
Are we passing particularly close to the store?
Yes, you were literally two stores down from it.
I want to go check. I'm gonna go check.
All right.
You go check. You go get your hands on a Blood Onyx for us.
Where were we going to go check again? I'm still kind of confused here.
Sorry, I'm going to the bookstore. There is a young girl there who is running that shop, and she is also suffering from the same problem that all the other humans are, and half humans. And being as it's a little early and the doors are open, I'm a little worried that the doors may have been open all night. So I want to go check.
Okay.
All right. As you peek your head in the door, the store is completely dark. And you do see the blonde-haired girl face down on the desk.
Exactly where you left her.
Perfection. We love to see it. Yeah.
Misty?
Yeah.
Do you want to go grab, see if her water is the same color?
Yeah. But first, I'm just gonna stop and make sure that she is in fact alive, please.
She's snoring softly. She's breathing.
Well, I guess she's still sleeping.
And again, you notice again the slight tears.
I'm going to go meander towards what looks like I'm assuming that there is what looks like a back office.
So as you walk into the store, you go to pass around. She does wake up.
Oh my goodness,
Huh?
Hey there. Did you ever close the shop last night?
You see her kind of like fumble around and find her glasses and puts them on. I don't remember.
Could I ask for a favor?
What's up?
Could you tell me where you get your water from, just out of curiosity?
Well, the whole town gets our water supply from the pool.
Okay. Would you mind if I troubled you for a glass?
Sure. You see her kind of like turn around the chair and you see her kick what looks to be blankets and some kind of rolled up equivalent of what would be a mattress underneath the desk.
Damn it.
And she goes and unlocks a door at the back of the office there, back of the counter space, and she disappears for a little bit and comes back and has a mug of water in her hand and hands it to you.
And do I notice the same problem?
Yeah.
Cool.
As
Cool.
as a slightly purple tint.
Do you drink a lot of water?
So
I
you're
have
kind of
face palm in the background.
You
so
can
you're
facepalm as hard as you
think
like.
for a moment and well, yeah, not want to drink anything else.
First of all, there are drinks besides water. How fucking dare you? Um,
Oh yeah,
Uh-uh.
what's it gonna be?
juice, motherfucker, juice.
Right, an Ashen Wake.
And milk. And milk.
You're lucky you got milk,
First of all, leches.
and you
Um,
also had to pay for that.
That's true. Um, so I don't want to alarm you, but we're gonna go investigate the town's water source, and I just feel more comfortable if you didn't drink until we returned, or not drink water. I know it's not a convenient, I know it's not convenient to not be drinking it, but I'm concerned that the water source is tainted.
You see her kind of stop and well, I don't have anything else to drink.
I'm gonna be right back. Can I take the mug with me, please? I promise I'll bring it back.
Sure, I've got 2 others.
Misted is gonna pat her hand with the big fluffy paw
She smiles.
and give the zoomies. Out we go. I'll be back. Misted's got the zoomies now. We going.
Oh no, there's a 7-foot cat with zoomies in the town. Everybody is doomed.
I got
I'm
the zoomies.
just gonna go ahead and like as Mist Steve zooms out of the store, walk in, of course, atop Samson because I can keep up with the rest of you fucks. Go up to the counter and say hi. Don't worry about it. Just so she has an ease of mind, and I'm gonna pull off my water skin and just give her the water skin that's not from the tainted source. There you go. That should last like a day if you're careful with it.
She just kind of holds it in her 2 hands, and you being a halfling are still roughly around the same size as this girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she just kind of palms it with both her hands and thank you.
No problem. Also, this is a bookstore, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. What type of are you just like a general bookstore, or do you have any special volumes?
We have
No, not another porno hunt.
Oh, you sick-minded freaks! How dare you?
What do you mean, sick-minded freaks? They did it last time.
they did.
I was not here for this shit.
And she just kind of
Listen,
more like general purpose. I don't make enough money to buy really special books.
Okay. Do you have any books about crap? I'm already forgetting the name of it.
Arc now.
The
Or do
different
you need-
afterlives.
Well, there's you see her just kind of like lose herself for a moment. And she kind of like trails off. And like the eyes just kind of go blank for a little bit. And she snaps back and over there in the corner section there should be maybe some books about the dream and the source and about the anchor and I'm not sure. It's not really what I enjoy reading.
I appreciate it. I will be back eventually to take a look at those books. I do have to catch up with my companion though. All right, have a good one. I'm gonna go ahead and wave
Thank
by
you.
as I write something up.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Okay.
I said a zoom zoom in my room.
And I'm guessing the rest of you are going to look for a blood onyx.
By this point, I would assume that Nomad found one.
Oh yeah, very easily. Literally right by your cart, still
Yeah.
at post, guarding.
No, yes, Nomad would approach and say, "Good morning."
Morning.
The High Judge told us that we should locate one of you to accompany us on an investigation.
Oh, he did he?
Nomad would pull out the official contract and say, "Yes, as per this contract."
You see him kind of take it off your hands and unroll it. Right. Well, as much as I don't like being the bearer of bad news, he technically doesn't have order over us. But, given as I see what you guys are trying to solve and figure out, I'd be willing to accompany you.
Nomad nods and just says, "We would much appreciate it."
Not a problem. Tim Nova likes to think he has absolute authority, even over the military. But he's got a rather high horse, but doesn't have the saddle for it. Let me just pack some stuff, and I'll be right here waiting for you.
Nomad would nod and say, "Excellent. We have our own smaller investigations to conduct in town still. We'll be back in an hour or so."
Understood. And he hands the contract back to you.
Nomad would roll it back up and put it back in his pack. And then probably go back into the inn.
All right. So you head back in, and you see that same human male. He is currently cleaning up and has acquired all the money, and he's sitting there, and he seems to be looking at something. He's like, I could have sworn I had more fish earlier.
Nomad would walk up and drop a gold coin on the table and say, "My companions may have helped themselves to your stores. They didn't wish to wake you."
Oh, how kind of them. You see him just kind of pocket the gold coin. Well, if you actually are able to figure anything out about this, I'd be more than happy to consider it all even.
Nomad would nod and ask, "Do you have any empty bottles that we could perchance have?"
If it helps, absolutely. You see him disappear into the back, and about 2 or 3 minutes later, he comes back with what looks to be a satchel, which has several glass vials and bottles in it.
Nomad will take it gently and say, "Thank you very much. This will be helpful for taking samples."
You see him just kind of looking. Well, I just started up the fire, so by the time you all get back, I should be able to have a new meal going. Let me know if there's
Nomad
anything else I
says-
need to help.
Nomad would shake his head no and say, "Thank you for all your help."
If it gets rid of these fucking dreams.
Nomad would pause and say, "Did you already throw out the barrel of tainted water?"
You see him just kind of look over, and nah, it's right there. I don't have the
Nomad
strength
would-
to lift it.
Nomad would nod and say, "I'll take a sample here, just in case."
You see him
And-
kind of pausing. Right, fair is fair.
Nomad would go and fill a bottle from the barrel.
All right. And these are very clear, like clear glass.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you-
They're
Holding it up to like the firelight, you can more easily tell now that it's mostly clear, but it does have this faint tint of like purple and pink.
Because now you know what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Nomad would ponder it for a second. And then place it gently back into the satchel, making sure that all the bottles are secured and aren't going to shatter or anything while he's carrying them. And then nod to the innkeeper, and head back out.
He nods a return, and you're heading out.
Mm-hmm. Nomad would, once outside, look around to see what his companions are doing.
I have the zoomies and am like yeeting myself to the general goods store.
It's still locked.
Is there a sign? Is there anything?
Yeah, it says closed.
Sanson tries to catch up with her. It's like, why are we going so fast? What's the rush?
It's literally like 20 feet away.
Yeah, I know. She says she's
She's
doing the
just
bolting. So
running.
it's like, why
I've
are we
got the
rushing?
zoom.
I just started running. Calm down,
Lol.
Jump.
Okay, since it is clearly still locked, I'm going to head back to the towards the inn.
Okay.
Nomad is
And
standing there with a rather large satchel. And would
Hey,
nod
Ronald.
as you approach and say, "The innkeeper was kind enough to provide us with empty bottles." With
Hey, look, I have a sample.
Nomad would reach in and pull out a bottle full of the water from the inn and says, "After closer inspection, I do also notice this discoloration. I also managed to acquire a blood onyx to accompany us."
Excellent, excellent. Well, I went over to the bookshop, and in fact, yep, that water also comes from the same source. Everybody says the same thing. It all comes from the same location. So here's another sample. And she's
Nomad
going to
would
produce
take
them.
it and tuck it away in the satchel.
It is in a mug. You cannot do that.
Oh,
Is it a cup?
Nomad kind of looks at the mug in the net and then back at Mist, and then puts down the satchel, takes out one of the empty bottles, and carefully pours the contents of the mug into this new bottle.
As
Perfection.
you
And
hold it up, same thing.
and Nomad would, as an afterthought, take out his quill and ink, and as best as he can, label the bottles. These two would be town samples.
Once I've handed you off the sample, I'm going to poke my head in the door. And I assume that I see Mr. Innkeeper Man, Mr. Barkeeper Man, is in fact awake still.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give him a big old sheepish smile. And reach for my lovely coin purse, because I did not pay for my breakfast. And upon seeing this man awake, I would remember. In fact, this man was not awake to make my brekkie. And I ate his food.
You see him kind of like look at you and puts a hand up. Just, you're fine. You're fine.
Thank you. But I have a question.
Mommy,
Hang on, buddy. Hang on, Bubby. Hang on, Bubby.
Everybody roll initiative.
Honestly, the toddler's about to initiate combat. But I have a question. If I wanted to get my hands on fresh produce and whatnot, where would I go in this town?
You see him kind of stop. You know, It's weird to have a tabaxi asking that question. But what kind of produce are you looking for?
Well, more or less, I'm more or less just looking for a market where one could, buy food goods. That's all.
Well, if you probably wait for another 2.5 hours, the market will be open.
Blech. Patience, I have none.
Clearly.
I'm going to give a lovely dejected sigh and just, ugh. And then, yeah. Thanks, I suppose. I'll be back. And then zooms back out the door to go talk to Nomad. So are we wanting to get more samples? Or are we ready, you think, to go check out the water source?
Nomad would kind of consider for a second and say, I believe we should make haste to the water source as soon as our Plutonics escort is ready. As a trip to and back from the southern pool is an 8-hour round trip, along with whatever we might need to do there.
This is fair. I do have to make a quick pop by the bookstore again. Do you want to go see if our traveling companion is ready and meet me back here?
Nomad glances over to where the Blood Onyx is, or was. And assuming that he doesn't see him there, Nomad would say, I will be here.
You don't see the Blood Onyx. He's off.
Mm-hmm. He's getting ready for a hike.
Mm-hmm.
A weedy walk. I will be right back. And off she zooms towards the bookstore again.
While they're doing this, I'm going to the stables.
Yeah, that'd be actually. It's just a fencing or I actually just lost the word for it.
Corral.
A post next to the inn.
Now, does the city have a leather worker?
Sorry.
If it's just a post, if it's just a post or whatever by the inn, does the city have a leather worker?
Sorry, checking notes.
Can I
Negative.
share something with you without context?
Yes.
Aaron forces Matt Mercer to partake in capitalism.
Interesting. But yeah, according to notes, that's a negative.
Alright, I guess I'll ask the people. So don't have a leather worker. Don't really have a stable. It's more just a fencing post. Just tell you the fucking blacksmith. I don't know. A general worker.
There is a blacksmith and a tailor.
I'm gonna go to Taylor's. Probably the tailor then.
Looking around, you do see where there's a sign that bears a sewing needle and thread, but the doors are also still locked.
Yeah, it's like 6:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's too
I thought
early.
we were doing like old day times. That's perfectly normal for everything to be open.
Yes, but a good population of this place is human, or half human.
And very much
suffering from whatever the fuck is suffering from. Looking through, like, is there like a glass window I can look through?
Yeah.
Looking inside and shining the lantern inside so I can see the lantern. That is my spell focus, which is basically what is it? Not the hooded lantern, but the bullseye. Oh, there we go. Bullseye lantern. Shining the bullseye lantern inside real quick. Is it just clothing, or is there leather stuff in there too?
It looks to be that there's an assortment of things like dresses, finer shirts. There's a few things of leather in there, but nothing, not too much.
All right, cool. Just double checking, and then I'll go off back to just wherever Nomad is.
And the name of that the tailor's shop is the Suit and Suture.
Suit and suture. All right, cool.
Right, so you head back to the quilted quiver. So what's Tyrell doing?
Chilling.
Like a villain.
All right, and
The
Misty
although
makes
I
it
do
back to
have
the
a
store.
question.
Yeah, what's up?
I would probably address this towards Nomad and just kind of question him on, does everyone in the town go to refill, or is there somewhere that they store some when they come back?
Nomad would think for like only half a second. It wouldn't take long, but he would say they have indicated they get all their water from the southern pool. I
Yeah, that's where
assume
they acquire the
that
original.
I assume that likely they send out an expeditionary team to gather enough water for the town from the southern pool and then return every so often.
We'll have to keep that in mind.
All right. At this point, Misty, you do already make it back to the bookstore, and there is Tenya.
Asleep or awake?
She's awake.
She's awake.
Well,
Pop.
half awake.
She's great. As awake as she can be.
She's currently standing in the corner of the store, looking
Nomad can
through
thunderclap her.
looking through some of the books on the shelves, which would be the ones that she was pointing out to Elbrick earlier, trying to find anything that he might have been looking at.
I'm going to walk up to the counter and put the cup back down. Hey, I'm back.
Oh, okay.
Mommy.
Hang on, Bubby.
Can't say hang on.
I can say hang on. Oh.
Oh, yeah. Where are you doing?
Come get this boy.
Buggy.
He cray cray. Dang it all.
Is that for dinner?
Hang on. Hi, bitches, Mom.
Yes, my mother is here.
No, actually.
She's
Hi, Mom.
declining donut holes.
Have you eaten that? Are your friends helping you? I hope. Excuse me.
Not physically, but they are encouraging me.
It's true. We're cheering him on as he eats way too many.
You missed what she said after that. She said they're not good friends.
They're encouraging you and following.
I haven't shared with them exactly how many there were.
We're encouraging you one hole at a time.
Don't know so far.
Oh my.
How many have I eaten so far? Well, if I had to guess, there's...
On a scale from 1 to diabetes.
All right. So
I'm thinking about
you return the cup to Tenya.
Yeah, I returned the cup to Tanya.
Maybe that. Yeah, I've eaten more than 40 donut holes.
Diabetic woman.
No.
Yet. 3, 2, 1.
I
Yeah,
can
return
feel his pancreas giving up.
Have a dinner plan?
Oh,
And
we have a very full refrigerator.
We do.
yeah.
We do leftovers tonight. Maybe you can do something else this weekend.
Yeah.
What's your schedule this weekend?
I'm working tomorrow and the day after and the day after that. I think I'm doing mid shifts all 3 days. Can we talk about this later?
Yes.
In the throes of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, you're still playing?
Yeah. It's only been a little under 3 hours.
2.5.
Yeah, a little under 2.5.
But
If we include all of the memes, which there have been plenty of.
but anyways, you have returned the cup to Tanya.
I've returned the cup to Tanya. Hey, so I wanted to go to the market. And I wanted to try and acquire some stuff for you. But it's still closed, and I have things to do. So I have a favor to ask of you.
You see her kind of look over and, I mean, you don't need to do that.
But you see, it would be helping me. It would be helping me because you remind me a lot of a friend, and I would just it would just make me feel better. I don't get to see her very often. And knowing that you're safe here and that you are okay while I am gone would make me feel better.
She kind of like puts her eyes down. Okay.
If you'd like, you could pick out a book for me that you think I would like, as that way it's not really it's not really me handing you anything. You are doing me a service by finding something you think I would find interesting.
Sure, I could find something.
Okay, surprise me. And she makes a big old gigantic toothy grin. And plops 5 gold into her hand. Or offers her 5 gold to see if she will put out her hand.
You see her kind of reach out and just take 1 gold.
We're not doing that, pal. She's gonna hold on to the hand. And she's gonna wait. We're gonna make this weird, bro, if you don't take the rest of this out of my hand, bro.
She just turns her hand over and opens it.
And she's gonna plop the rest into her hand.
Thank you.
We'll be gone for a day, but I'm certain that I will see you tomorrow.
Sure. I'll find you something.
Okay. I'm sure you will. Be safe now. And then she zooms out back to her companions.
Alright, so during that conversation between Tyrell and Nomad, the Blood Onyx does return. Fully geared up. He has his full armor on. He has his pack, weapons, everything. He's ready to. He's ready to go. And he kind of catches part of your conversation. And he goes, "Well, I can answer your question on that. There's actually a particular group of individuals here that go out and collect water from that local source, and then they cart it all back. They go out there maybe once a week."
Well, that's very good to know. Do you know these individuals by name?
No, we don't really spend too much time interacting with the locals, as
Okay.
they're typically intimidated by us.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Do you know where they usually are,
He's like, well,
or can be commonly found besides at the pool?
on this day they should have already been back, but maybe I missed them. Yesterday was the day where they went out to go collect their weekly haul all for it. So you might find them at General Goods and about the town.
All right, that's good to know. Thank you.
So, we ready to head out?
Once the rest of us gather here, I believe so.
I have done a hack and zoom.
All right, so everybody has reconvened.
As we've reconvened, does everyone tell everyone else what they learned?
I imagine we'll talk about it on the ride there.
I mean, like, no, I'm saying like, okay, I said that like out of character. I mean, in character. Elbrig would be like, so what did you guys learn? Because I heard taking samples and things of that nature.
Nomad would motion to the satchel he's carrying and say, "We have 2 samples from different sources in town, which have both proved to hold the discoloration we discovered, and more empty bottles for samples to take at the source. Additionally, we've learned from our escort that there is a group that travels to the pool about once a week to cart water back for the whole town. It may behoove us to look for them if we do not find anything at the pool."
So these people who cart water back to the town, they are not back yet, or is today not the day they go? What's the normal schedule?
It is still early and most establishments appear to be closed.
Not talking about the rest of them, saying the water people. Like, is today a day they go? Do they? You said they go once a week. Like,
Not really sure, but the guard informed us they should be back soon, at least.
okay. And we're gonna, instead of waiting for them, just go there.
Yeah, we're gonna go there, and pretty much if we bump into them on the way, we can stop and talk to them.
And when it comes to looking at Nomad, did you find someone who knows the spell you're talking about?
Nomad would shake his head and say, "I don't believe that we'll find anybody with that ability, at least not right now."
Did you look?
Nomad kind of looks at Elbrig, looks around town at the various closed shops, looks back at Elbrig. "There are not many magic shops or chapels in this town, and even if they were, I'm not sure the owners would be cognizant enough to deal with us."
What spell is it that you know of, actually? That's more important, to be honest.
Nomad would just look at you and just say, "It is a spell called Purify Food and Drink."
Oh. That would have been helpful.
The Blood Onyx is listening into this conversation. He's like, not to interject here or be rude, but magic of that particular variety is not common around here. That's
Nomad
something
would-
more towards Janice Forest.
Yeah. Nomad would nod and say, I expected as much. After all, there's, well, not much use for such a spell in so barren a land.
I would think I would think because you're in a barren land, there would be more use for it because the water might be dirty or something like that.
Well,
that is what we are now out to find.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Fair.
Away!
All right, so you all begin your journey following behind the Blood Onyx towards the southeastern pool. And as you begin your trek, he leads you guys to the northeast of the town. And just in passing, just as we're gonna pass through the Luminous Gates, and it's just a shorter route. It'll be much faster if we head through Luminous Gates and then head south. And as he leads you all through the northeastern route through town, you approach the, as he deems them, the Luminous Gates of Ashstone. And this is an archway on this very nice fort-like wall. And the archway itself seems to be constructed out of amethyst or purple quartz, like crystal.
Right.
And he motions to it, and this is the Luminous Gate. This road here leads to Listelcrass and Saloris. White Shallow leads you into Silivor. And then he's gonna lead you all out of the gate, and then you all begin to immediately turn and head south. And I believe, yeah, about 2 hours of walking in, you see him kind of alert and stop.
I'm just imagining this playing as we wander.
And you see him kind of like stop and kind of give you guys the sign of, hang on, hold up. And it's odd, but there's a clustering assortment of trees and bushes and stone and rock here. You're right on the cusp between Ashenwake, Silivor, and Grey Plain. And so there's a cluster of like foliage here and there. Like again, there's some trees, some nicely sized stone rocks, some bushes and grasses and the like. And as he pulls you all to a stop, he kind of sets his bag down, and you see
Nomad
him
would.
kind of kneel.
Nomad would follow suit with the satchel full of delicate glass bottles.
And he is intently staring at a rather large rock cluster that is in front of you.
A perception check?
Go for it.
That's a big rock.
It's a really big rock. And you see it just kind of doesn't look right.
Nomad, not wanting to disregard the
Wait.
experienced military man's opinion, will be ready and, be at the ready to enter combat if need be. And
What are you guys so keen on right now? What's going on?
You see him kind of put his finger up to his lips. Shh.
Who said that was perception or investigation? Hang on, buddy.
If you're trying to look for something, it'd be perception. If you're rummaging through something and like intently looking at it, it'd be investigation. All right, so with 21, you see what he
Nobody.
sees.
What do you see?
There is a broken cart around the corner of the rock and what looks to be several smashed barrels.
Ah, delightful.
And with the 21, also looks to be an arm.
Okay. Upon seeing the arm, I'm going to gesture to Nomad because I'm assuming he's right up there next to me.
Hmm.
I'm going to gesture and hopefully point. No, baby. Hopefully point out the fallen over person. I'm assuming with Nomad following my pointing.
Yeah, you also see the broken cart, smashed barrels, and what looks to be an arm laying on the ground.
Nomad would mutter quietly to the party, "I think we may have found the water bearers." And then would pull out his shield and nod to Tyrell and Elbrig and Relagalore and Misted with a sort of be ready for anything sort of look.
With that perception, I don't hear anything, right? I just see.
You do hear something.
What do I hear?
You hear absolute silence where there should possibly be snoring, groaning, birds, animals, anything. Nothing.
I'm going to I'm gonna sneak my mace out of its little clippy clip,
Okay.
and I'm going to very quietly start getting closer to the cart. I'm assuming you want a stealth check,
Hmm.
as I'm trying to be super quiet.
Car.
I'm not sneaky at all.
Mommy, that's my car.
It's really odd trying to see this 7-foot tall cat wearing scale mail with a shield and a mace try and creep through what can only be described as a very sparsely kind of vegetated area when her coloration is that of more like stone and mountain and rock. It's entertaining, but she's not very stealthy. But you said you were stealthing your way up to the cart?
Nomad would go along with her as well.
Okay.
Stealthy?
Apparently, somehow slightly stealthier despite being metal.
Mm. So, the both of you, as you approach the cart, you see a dead body on the ground. This is definitely dead.
Oh, good.
Wounds,
say-
marks of a struggle.
And then another dead body on the other side.
Are they very obviously like they've been attacked?
Blood splattered everywhere,
Oh, good.
along
Nomad
with
would
pools of blood.
Nomad would approach one and examine the wounds and such.
You find arrow wounds and looks to be some blunt force and some stabbing.
Nomad would turn to the others and say gravely, "This was no beast attack."
Looking on the other side of the cart, you find 2 more dead bodies. Same condition.
Is anyone versed the tracking?
Yeah. If I'm looking for tracks, it would be survival, yeah?
Mhm.
Barely.
So with a 13, kind of hard to miss. There's a very long trail of blood dragged across the ground, leading between these 2 rocks that the cart seems to have been smashed upon. And looking into the distance, you can see that it's moving towards an area that seems to have a large tree at the end of it, along with several smaller trees and clusters of bushes and whatnot. But that it is a
So-
very distinct drag mark
So leading from the rocks to the trees.
Yep, leading from the cart through the rocks to a tree. And as you look past and further down, you see another 2 bodies laying between the rocks.
Okay, I assume Mr. Onyx Man is close by.
Oh, he's right next to you.
Is it safe to, I'm gonna speak quietly, but is it safe to assume that the pool is in that direction?
And he just kind of looks around. Not from between the rocks, no. In fact, and he kind of points off towards where you guys were heading. This seems to have been a cluster of rocks off to the left of where you guys were heading. So it would be to the right of where they would be heading back.
Nomad would
Okay.
think for a second and then ask, should we investigate this further, or do you wish to return for reinforcements?
You see him kind
I-
of... I don't know. I haven't seen something like this. Not here.
I don't think there's time with those drag marks. What if there's somebody out there hurt? I don't think there's time to go back and get help and come all the way back out here.
Nomad would nod and say, then let us be ready for anything. And motion for everybody to continue to follow the drag marks, but to be on their tippiest toes possible, on high alert.
Misty's radar ears are in fact swirling on her head right now.
All right. So you all proceed to follow.
Party
Mhm.
members? Apex, Quinn?
Yeah, I'm not gonna just stay here.
Listen, it's an option.
If you want to be separated from the party, then yes.
Don't you know you never said goodbye?
Andrew?
Monsieur Potato.
I mean, Andrew is dead. Robbie's
It seems-
AFK. Actually,
Why is
Robbie
my
might
dog-
be dead too.
Oh, well. Did he put himself in AFK chat or is there a bot?
Maybe we
Nope.
should try that instead. Alright, so you guys are going to make your way through these rocks?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. What is the
On-
marching order of this?
Nomad would go front and center.
Alright.
Misty's gonna be right up there next to him.
Alright, and you'll have the Blood Onyx probably right there behind Nomad or in front. And I would assume Tyrrell would be towards the back along with Elbrig.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. As you make your way through these rocks, you kind of reach the end. And you kind of see the Blood Onyx just kind of put a hand up again and kind of look around. And then immediately just reaches over and draws his sword.
Nomad would do the same.
Alright.
I never put the mace away.
As
What do you
soon as
see
he
with-
draws his sword, you see 2 arrows fly out, one hitting him square in the chest, and the other one flying and pinging right off his shoulder.
Is he
Do we
still
see where
okay?
He's hurt. And he just kind of...
Nomad would move in front of him
And as you do, you hear from either side of the rock the shuffling of foot on stone and grass, and then 3 figures appeared a slight distance away from you with bows drawn at the ready.
Initiative.
And that'll
I
be
assume
what you all see.
what'll be? Hang on. My roll 20 went dirt.
Nothing's revealed. It's all in the fog of war right now.
Mhm.
Give it 1 second.
Well, I just meant like roll 20 completely tabbed out for a second. It took me back to the login screen. I just want to say, having seen the man get funked with an arrow, I'm gonna snap that shield up.
Go ahead and do this real quick.
So, do you want us to go ahead and roll initiative? Yay, nay.
And that's what we'll pick up next week.
Awesome. A cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger.
Indeed, indeed.
All right. Mission Protect the Baby begins.
Indeed.
Because if the Blood Onyx dies while we're out on a mission where he was sent to escort us,
Yeah, that's gonna look real sketch.
it's gonna look real bad.